All right. Good evening. It's Mountain Daylight Savings Time. And wow. Alrighty. So it's comment reply time. I have still a few videos that I'm backlogged on to save and upload. So we'll see what gets done first. So let's start with Jennifer. She had replied previously that don't you believe in God? And so I thought she was on my side. She was making comments and participating, and then she goes and asks, don't you believe in God? With 3 question marks. And I said, are you joking? Does she not catch on? Obviously I believe in a God, but when you're talking about religions, do I believe in the Brighamite God? No. The Brighamite God is pure evil. So here she is again saying I'm legit, asking what specifically do you believe? Doesn't matter what I believe, it's a matter of what I know. And so I'll have to respond to Jennifer on this one. La, da, 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 la, da, da. First of all, I know that belief alone is worthless, or as James records, dead. I don't live my life according to beliefs, opinions, or feelings. Mormons got up in their church pulpits last week and lied to everyone about what they claim to, quote, know is true. Because last week, the 3rd, if you're just joining my channel and you're not Mormon, you know nothing about the Mormons, but you're curious because YouTube put this video as a recommended video because of something you typed in. Mormons, on the first Sunday of every month, unless there's a special meeting such as their general conference, they have what's called Fast and Testimony meeting. And in that meeting, Mormons get up at their pulpits and they are supposed to be talking about their experience of learning and knowing of a particular gospel principle as being correct. Not that they believe in it, but that they've actually applied it, and then they talk about, I applied this principle, this is the results that happened, it's true, God is great, you know, whatever. And it doesn't Nope, nobody. I don't hear anybody doing that. You have what Mormons are calling travelogues, thankimonies, uh, confessionals. Nobody's actually getting up and giving an actual real testimony. And the majority of that reasoning is because of Christianity. In Christianity, they have butchered definitions of words in common speech to alter them to fit their religion. So testimony no longer refers to a court case where a witness testifies of what they saw, what they heard, physical testimony of physical evidence. Instead, it's now, oh, I had a feeling, and hallelujah. So, yeah, that's just completely different. And it's done in Christianity to get away with what they're doing. Because if you don't have evidence of God in your life, or the gospel principles of Christianity, because in Christianity, they screw over James. They pass right on by. They don't believe in faith without works is dead. They believe in faith, and faith alone will save. Hallelujah. Just say you believe and you are saved. No, James goes against that. And Christians pick and choose from the New Testament what they want to believe in. And Mormons have picked that up. Why would Mormons do that? Because Joseph Smith was all about physical, court-like testimonies. After all, Joseph Smith had gone to jail many times. You'd think he'd know about that. And yes, he does. The first vision is actually a dream, but he talks about the process. And that process is the same pattern that the Book of Mormon talks about in Alma, chapter 32, starting in verse 28. And so Joseph Smith was all about a real physical knowledge of things. And that having just faith, he compares it to a seed. That faith is planting that seed. Believing in the seed is real. And so you plant it in your heart because of the word. You believe it. That's your feelings. And then you have to implement the word. And so a perfect example is an architect. He gets an idea, church calls it revelation. An architect gets an idea for blueprints for a home. And so he has to design the blueprints according to the pattern of the idea that he got. And he knows if that pattern is true or not by making the blueprints and the construction workers following the blueprints to the T. Because then the blueprint guy, or the construction guys, the blueprints now become their inspiration. And it's the word. And so then the construction guys have to follow the word, obey the word. And if they're obedient and are exact in replicating the blueprints, the house will prove itself. It'll stand. It won't collapse. It won't, all that stuff. And that's how you know if a revelation or an idea is good, or if it's a piece of crap and you need to listen to some other voice. Get some other source of revelation. And so, when people ask me, what do you believe? Who cares? What fruit have I produced that I can tell you guys about? And And this is what I've been doing with all my videos. And so it's a little disappointing to have Jennifer comment like this. It's like, I thought she got it. I thought she understood. And the way she'd been commenting seemed to demonstrate that. Because this debate between Mormon and critics, it's not about belief. You know, people can't just choose. Oh, I want to believe the Mormons. Oh, I want to believe the critics. And the popular vote wins. No, that's not how it works. I'm doing my videos warning Mormons about the corruption, exposing the abuse, exposing the lies, the deceptions. And even for critics, critics have incorrect perceptions because they trust the church when the church comes out and lies about the lie that they've been telling. And so people say, aha, we caught you, you confessed. No, they didn't. They're still lying. And in our society, our government, if you'll notice, Congress is saying, oh, we want the American people to decide for themselves whether Trump needs to be impeached, or if Trump is a bad guy, or if this one issue is something that Americans want, because they want majority vote. That's democracy. Democracy is discrimination against minorities. And of course, both sides want democracy as long as they come out as the majority winners. Republicans want democracy as long as they win, and they won the 2016 election, as they claim. And so therefore, Democrats must comply and submit to the Republican rule until the next presidential election. That's the way Republicans feel because they won. And so in the church, it's not about what you want to believe in. Oh, I vote for the church. Oh, I vote for the Pope. It doesn't work that way. It's not a whatever you feel goes. And people don't get that. Our culture has completely given up on scientific knowledge. Christianity has invaded science and have been destroying it. People from Christianity become scientists specifically so that they can prove their Bible, prove their church. And it's just prove their God even. And it's like, no guys, that's not how you do it. That's not scientific. That's not logical. That's not sound. But nobody cares. They are enforcing their beliefs on everyone. And churches can't do that. Members of churches can't do that. But in Utah, you have a dominant church in the state. And as a result, the majority of Congress people in the state legislature and governors and city representatives, the majority of them are Mormon. And as a result, Mormon values, as they perceive it, get enforced upon the community. A religion is given precedence over the constitutional rights of the people. And that's extremely dangerous, and nobody gets that, except those who become victims. I just recently saw CNN doing a report about BYU blaming sexual rape victims. And the spokesperson for BYU was completely trying to distract, trying to give a good name to the church and to the school. And these girls who are victims are countering when they hear about what the spokesperson said. And yes, they don't care about the victims. The honor code was violated, so these girls have to go. It's just like, oh my God. Unfortunately, the BYU claimed that they were changing their policy after the 100,000 signatures that were given to them. But just the other week, we have a news report saying that the BYU security have been concealing rape cases and not presenting them. And so they're about to lose their license unless they change and comply. But unfortunately, the oversight group or whatever it was that busted BYU security, they're giving them till September to comply, which is way too long, unless there's that many cases that they've been withholding. Which, if that's the case, why are they giving them an option to save themselves? They need to shut them down and demand all the documentation immediately. But yeah, it may be because it's a Mormon organization overseeing a Mormon organization, and that's why they're being lenient, although claiming to be tough at the same time. And that's why you can't have religion influencing society, influencing the government. You know, religion was intended in the beginning to be a theological discussion of what happens after we die and living a good moral life among other human beings on earth. And instead, religion has been used for wars and racism and sexism and all sorts of abuses. You know, the Spanish Inquisition, the witch trials, all of it is it just makes you cry when you see the horrors that are committed upon other human beings in the name of religion. And so, yeah, Jennifer, if I believe something, I confirm it, I replicate it, so that I no longer believe it, because I now know it's true or false, and I dismiss it as a belief. And that greatly concerns me. And so, I don't know, have I answered Jennifer enough in writing? I hope Jennifer should be watching this video, so I hope she sees the expanded answer, and I'll put it on here. I'm currently answering your question in a comment reply video. I don't know what the title will be. But watch for it. Hopefully today. All right. Okay. Archive that. Now, LDS dates for the return to Independence, Missouri. This is an old one. This was pre-discovery of the LDS Church history. If you durstand prophecy, your world would understand prophet Mansa, person regarded as an inspired teacher or proclaimer of the will of God. Prediction of future events is ancillary to a prophet's main purpose of proclaiming the will of... What the hell are you saying? It's like this guy is drunk in a bar and he's found my video and is just rambling off, which is how all the great philosophers publish their books. And then he comments again, unless kingdom of heaven is established on earth by Jesus the Christ, organized and adjudicated by Christ himself, there will be no real true peace. So again, this la 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 la, that's the title of his channel. He's enforcing his religious beliefs upon my video. This is a process of silencing other people when you push your beliefs onto others. See, he's not allowing me the freedom on my channel to peacefully assemble and to present my videos. He's coming on here, he's saying, boom, Jesus Christ, he's the only one that's going to do this, and you have to conform to my belief, because that's the only peace. Yeah, well, that's what religion does when they do war. There will be no peace until we destroy the other religion. That's what he's doing. So this is, I'm seeing a pattern for this one here. So maybe the title will have something to do with faith, I guess, belief. And this isn't worth my time doing anything with this. I'm just going to let him ramble on, because it's 15,000 views on this one, and there's lots of comments. I'm not going to bother. Alright, more shocking LDS Mormon church breaking news. Nelson kisses Pope ring. See, like I told you guys, Mormons or videos about Mormon temples gets the views. And so this was awesome timing with the Rome temple, because I had been wanting to do some temple videos and stuff like that, and so this was perfect timing to help me get views to my website. And here's Ma'at M. We need to know these things, Tad. Come on, Tad. You're the reporter for this. Yeah, I went over Tad's reporting of this, and this person agrees. Because Tad's not doing his job as a reporter. There are questions that we need answered, and not, critically. I'm talking legitimately. Nelson and all the prophets are going to Rome. He's meeting the Pope. There are answers we have, or the questions we have. And Tad, clueless. He's not talking about them. And I can understand Tad sitting at his computer at the Deseret News desk, waiting for the call or the email from the spokesperson that did go with the church and is taking these pictures. And Tad has to just say, okay, this is what they provided me with. I have to make an article on it. And so I can understand if that's the case. And so, yeah, that may be likely that the spokesperson, the PR person or whatever, who does get to go to Rome and who's taking these pictures and who's reporting on what Nelson's doing where and when and whatever, they're purposely leaving out information for that reasoning. So maybe Tad's blameless here. But when you're doing reporting, there are questions in order to inform your audience about the news. And this is huge. For Mormons, this is huge news. A Rome temple. And so if Tad is just toting the party line, the people suffer because they're not getting the answers that they want. Alright, and Ma'at is again responding, religion is big business. Don't worry, people, it's just business. They're giving him financial advice. It costs how much to become a saint? 10% of your income. That's how much it costs to be a saint. That's the sale of indulgences that I did as a video long ago, and not too many people cared. And I think it's because Mormons don't know what indulgences means. It's where you pay for your afterlife. You pay for forgiveness of your sins. And that's what the church is doing to you Mormons. When you go to the temple, you have to pass a temple recommend interview. In that temple recommend interview, you have to declare that you are a full tithe payer. Not a partial tithe payer, a full tithe payer. And then they have every year, at the end of the year, they have tithing settlement, where you have to declare your status as a tithe payer. Full, partial, none. And if you don't go in for it, the bishop then decides what you are. and so it's just ridiculous that the Mormon church is fooling the members with this. It's extortion. Because you can't get the saving ordinances of the temple unless you pay your dues. And Mormons even call it fire insurance. Insurance is a gamble. Why is it? Because what is gambling? It's investing money in something with no guarantee of a return on your investment. Insurance companies all the time don't want to give you your money when you need it. You know, the hurricanes. People's homes and lives are ruined. They go to their insurance companies. I need to rebuild my life. Nope, sorry. You're only covered for severe storms. This was a hurricane. Or the reverse. I'm sorry. This was a hurricane. You're only covered for severe storms. You know, whatever excuse they make to not have to pay you or not pay you all that is needed to restore your life. And so it's the same with car insurance, medical insurance. The movie John Q was excellent for insurance fraud that's perpetuated in our nation, with Denzel Washington starring in that movie. Yeah. So, and then cute little fox emojis. So, alrighty. And Ma'at M. So she emerges lately. Let's see. She's responding to Jennifer Flowers' comment with the Pope in the Ring, which was the one I just talked about. Jennifer Flower, I can tell you what God the Mormon church leaders believe in. The God of financial prosperity and global power. I believe there's an ancient God for that. I think it's, I can't remember, Gad, the tribe of Gad, the son of Jacob. He was believed to be a god of prosperity. And so that would be the church's god, Gad. No, Zod. And she was duplicated on here. Okay. So she must have edited it. Looks the same. Alrighty. Well, let's see. I've got to delete the notifications on my channel. Okay, so that's it for the comment replies this time around. So sorry, MD, this isn't long enough for you. Maybe you're keeping silent because you've got so much to catch up on. Alrighty, so we're done. Sign out. British comedians take the British word out of Donald Trump. Patrick Stewart is involved in that one. All right, so here's Dodger game. He's a little behind in my reporting, but he too did one about President Nelson and the Pope. His title is LDS First Presidency and Quorum of the 12, Groveling in Rome at the Vatican Praising the Pope. And he only has 314 views after 22 hours. Whereas let's see where I'm at online. I have to type in my channel because I signed out. I'm at 597 views in one day. So he's catching up. He had a slow start, but I'm still beating him. And if you combine both videos together, I'm at 942. So, all right. Let's see what I can get uploaded today.